class. This video demonstration mini instructional guide is the 300 point stock market project. All of the documents that you will be looking at today will be posted in the content area of the classroom. This project is making the assumption that we have a good knowledge of the business world, the different areas of business that are applicable in the accounting, the marketing, as well as the other aspects of business. What you'll be doing in this project will be you will be in the position of a finance manager, and you are asked to purchase stock on behalf of the organization. Now, there's going to be a number of different things that you will learn from this. You'll learn really how to balance the risk and rewards of the stock market in choosing your stock investments. You will be using information from the internet to obtain information and analyze a company or industry. You will be working with different corporate, financial, and non-financial information. Thus, you will be able to determine what is important and whether or not this information will be a point that you will need in order to decide to buy the stock. And then you will go through the process of buying and selling the stock. The instructions are not very difficult. On the first day of the game, which I'm going to say is going to be it's going to be Monday. Maybe Monday the 15th or the 13th, not sure, but I'll give you the correct date I want you to start. But as of a certain date, you will be given a hypothetical $100,000. You are to obtain and purchase 10 stocks, at least 10 stocks from the exchange, not exceeding $100,000. In a Word document, you're going to write up 1 to 2 paragraphs explaining the stocks you've purchased, at the price you purchased them, and how many shares you've purchased. You will track each stock for 10 days, 10 business days, and you will be recording the total cost of the stock and comparing that with the price that you initially purchased it, and any realized gains or losses, you will be tracking those. And I will give you a demonstration of the worksheet as well that you'll be using to key in your information. In the same Word document, you're going to write another paragraph explaining your progress and explain why your portfolio has or has not grown. In fact, you need to analyze how well you pick the stock and why it is doing as well as it's doing or why it's not. Because these are current event transactions, these meaning you're going to be doing it for the next 10 days, you will be able to identify some specific events in the market that has some role in why your gains or losses are as such. And finally, you will submit the Word document in 12 font Times Roman in Desire to Learn, and the Excel spreadsheet that you've been working on, you will also accompany your report. Please note that this report is 300 points, and the points here are given to you. I'm going to allow you to look one more schedule, and that's going to be your rubric. This rubric really tells you for each point of this project how the grade will be structured. Get familiar with what I'm expecting in the stock market activity and ask any questions that you may have. Again, all of these forms will be uploaded into the content area, so you'll be very much aware of what you need to do and how it needs to get done. And again, it's worth 300 points, with each section having a different range of point values. Okay, once you determine that, you will be using the spreadsheet that I'm giving you here. This is a sample spreadsheet. Let me explain. The spreadsheet shows you the stock symbol, the stock name, number of shares, base price, base value, and the stock price. The stock price is going to be a multiplication between the amount of the stock per share, the number of shares you decide to acquire. Now, this is a sample, which means you don't have to use the stock symbols here, and you don't have to use the number of shares that I'm calculating. I'm giving you a very good idea of what needs to be changed in each one of these cells. So when you set up these accounts with different organizations, public organizations, you're going to decide how many you want to purchase based on your risk assessment, your amount of money you're willing to spend for each one. Nevertheless, do not exceed this number. I'm going to put this one here in red. Never to exceed $100,000. At the end of every day, you will be changing this column here, which is called the end of day stock price. You will change these amounts to reflect the end of day price for that particular stock. The computer will automatically calculate your end of day value and compare that with the price you actually initially paid to give you a dollar realized gain or loss, and then the computer will also calculate the net change. So you don't have to make any calculations. You rather have to put in these values, and it will automatically calculate for you. These are all calculations. So if you change the calculations, obviously you'll have to fix that. But if you just plug in the values of the stock here and here, these calculations here and calculations here and calculations in these two columns will happen automatically. This spreadsheet will have the purchase tab and for every day thereafter for the next 10 days. Your job then will be to copy over to the next day all your previous day information and change it to reflect the end of that day stock price. What you'll be doing is you're trying to determine if your stock selection provided a sufficient growth for your organization. And there is no win or lose in this process, but it does show how well you can identify stocks that will provide you with the quickest return. So let's see if we can do our best and try to earn as much money as we can in 10 days. This is the spreadsheet, and I'll have it uploaded to you. Now let me go through really quickly what you'll be doing online to find the stocks that you want, and how to determine what their sale price is. I'm using Yahoo Finance because it's so much easier to follow. But you go to yahoo.com, click on finance. Now, for each stock that you want to purchase, or if you want to find out what companies to look for, you can use the stock lookup. And I'm going to put Ford, F-O, to see what comes up. Let's see if I can get some companies to come up on my database. I'm going to close this ad because it's getting in the way. Okay, it's giving me FOR, Forrester Group. It doesn't matter for this demonstration, but what you'll be doing is you'll be doing a lookup to find a company that's public, that's traded on the exchange or the Dow, and you're going to research whether or not that company is a company that you want to put in your portfolio. That being said, I'm going to look up F, which is the Ford Motor Company, which comes up. And what I need to do is I need to find out what the prices are for each and every day. So there's a line that says historical prices. I'm going to click onto that. And what you'll be doing is you'll be looking for daily prices, the end of day prices for the stock. That's the number that you will going to put in when you purchase the stock. So for example, if we start the activity on April the 9th, you're going to have to put in the end of day April 18 as the price you are going to purchase the stock. And then the very next day, which is April the 9th, the end of day close, you will plug in the $15.95, which is the new price at the end of the day. These are the numbers that you're going to be using each and every day as you track your stocks for 10 business days. That will let you know whether or not for that day your stock or your particular stock has either increased in value or decreased in value. So for the example here, I can go right to my spreadsheet and I could plug in the price of the stock at $15.28. And for each one of my stocks, I go in initially and purchase it on the day before, getting the per share price. Based on the per share price, I estimate as to how much shares I want to purchase for each one of my. So with each stock that I select, see the goal with my portfolio was to have a balance of a risky investment and with a more stable investment. So my Dell, my IBM, my Microsofts are more stable investments, and the Rite Aid and Ford Motor are more of a risky investment. And then there are other couple organizations, Dominion and GE and CVS and Macy's. They're more a mixed bag. So that's how I selected my stock. But you use your knowledge of the market and what your risk tolerance are to determine which stocks you would like to use and whether or not their prices within your budget. Once you determine your number of stock or your stocks, you complete this portion of the worksheet with their stock symbol, with the name officially of the company, the number of shares you want to purchase, and the share price. The Excel spreadsheet program will automatically calculate the price, the total price per investment, giving you a running total. Your number should not exceed $100,000. So that means you may have to adjust your stock accordingly to keep you within, within that. As you can see, I'm just playing with it a little bit. So here I am. I got my stocks to a level where I feel I'm comfortable with it. I am under the $100,000 threshold. And at the end of the day of my purchase is going to be the same price. So each day, the day I purchase my stock is going to be $25, 189.64, $58.60, $27.46, 24.96, 81.95, 58.16, and $4.79, 15.28, and 77.05. At the end of my first day of my purchase date, I'm not going to show any gain or loss. I'm just going to show the shares that I purchased it, and at the end of the day, the same price. However, when you're working on the very next day, I'm going to copy over, and I'm going to put in this field here. Let's see, let me copy. All you need to do is copy it, because you don't want to have to rekey any information. So I'm going to copy and paste. And here's my next day. Now, you may want to make your columns a little bit bigger. So the only thing I have to do at this point on day one is change the amounts here to reflect that day, that end of day price. And the system will automatically calculate your gain or loss. And I'm going to fabricate here. And I'm just fabricating these dollar amounts. Obviously, I haven't checked on Yahoo, but what you will be keying in is only in this column. Once your template is established, once you've already created the number of the stocks and the number of shares and the base price and the ending price, you need to copy this over to your next day, and every day after, this is the only column that you will need to adjust. Everything else will be automatically populated with the new amounts. So at the end of day 10, you will have, in fact, a, a cumulative gain or loss, or unrealized gain or loss, as a result of the transactions that happens in the 9 days prior. This particular project, it does not take long to do. The main thing I think with this is being able to go through and look at what's going on in the market every single day as it relates to your shares of stock. So using the Yahoo Finance and using the ticker symbol that you have for your stock, you can check historical prices on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And what we care about, quite frankly, is every day going forward for a number of days. So I'm going to upload all of this to the Desire to Learn for you to review. Please ask any questions that you might have in the discussion board under this particular module. And I think you will like this project. It will give you some idea of what's involved and why it's so nerve-wracking to track your stocks and see how volatile your stocks are. But if you have any questions at all, you can give me a buzz as well. And I think this is going to be a neat project, and I'll have all this information available to you if you need it. And by all means, watch this recording over and over again as you are going through your project. And if you have any questions, by all means, let me know, and we will do our best to answer your questions. And good luck.